In this chapter, we're going to be making the project you're now seeing on screen from scratch. We'll be using presets and also adding some effects and adding some animation as well. But first, before we jump into that and start making this stuff, I want to give you a movie where we just have an overview of the entire workflow of After Effects from start to finish. You know, After Effects does so much stuff that's easy to kind of get lost in the shuffle. You might know how to create a certain effect, but you might not get where that fits in the entire scope of things, the entire workflow. So I'm going to resize my interface. The interface in After Effects, as we'll see, is completely customizable. Projects begin in the project panel. We double-click in the blank area in the project panel to import assets. Assets, also sometimes called media, clips, footage, what have you. These are things that you import. And things that qualify as footage are video, audio, still images, and just about anything else that you import into After Effects. Typically, footage is a video-only term, but in After Effects, it means anything. The project panel is kind of like a bank where we store everything we bring into our project. Doesn't mean we have to use everything in our project. It's just kind of a reference place we can go back to, just like a bank account. You don't have to spend all the money in your bank account. It's just there for you if you need it. Then we need to create a composition. A composition is like a project within a project. New compositions can be created by clicking this button at the bottom of the project panel. Once you click that button, the composition settings dialog box pops up, and you can name your composition and change its settings here. I'm going to click cancel now. I already have a composition open. Compositions show up as tabs down here in what we call the timeline panel. In the timeline panel, we stack layers. Typically, these are footage items that we've imported. And we also, if I zoom out here, we have a timeline that we can scrub. We could go left and right. As we advance this little playhead called the current time indicator, we go further out in time. As you can see here, 3S for seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds, and so on. So we could move forward in time, or by dragging to the left, we could go back in time. Now we also have a whole host of other panels that help us do our jobs. One of the most common is the Effects and Presets panel. It's here that we search for and apply effects. Let's say if I wanted to blur my text layer. I would select the text layer here in the timeline panel, and then I would search for a blur. Just type in blur, and look at all the blurs available to us. We'll be talking about several of these throughout the training series. I could click on Fast Blur and drag it either here or here to apply it. Once the effect is applied, I come to the Effect Controls panel to adjust it. I can increase the blurriness value, and that blurs out our text. If I decide not to use that effect, I can select it and hit the delete key on my keyboard to delete it. All effects in After Effects are completely non-destructive, which in plain English means that you can just add and explore and play around all you want. Getting back to the timeline, this is also where we create animation. And when you animate objects, you'll see these little things called keyframes. That's what these diamonds are here in the timeline panel, and those indicate animation. And so once we've imported objects, brought those objects into compositions, and we've added effects and moved things around and animated, then it's time to export. In other words, we send our project out into a video or some other format that another program will understand. To do that, we go to the composition menu at the top of the screen and select Add to Render Queue. And from the render queue, we have a powerful method of outputting video. But we don't have to output just video. We could output image sequences or just audio. Now, obviously, there's a lot more to it than that, but in a nutshell, that is the whole After Effects workflow. In the next movie, we're actually going to set up this project from scratch. We'll import the layers, set up a composition, and get things going.